Brew, are you blaming Harbaugh for this loss?
Okay, as much as I'm a young soul, I'm admittedly old school. And yes, I am blaming Harbaugh for this loss. Now, look, in a 60-minute game, there are all types of things happen, right? You can talk about the defense. You can talk about Lamar not being up to par. So there are other things you can blame. But this comes down to John Harbaugh because this is the definition of insanity. Doing something over and over again in which you keep failing at it. It doesn't work. And Harbaugh keeps doing this. Nick, last year, we saw it against Pittsburgh, right? They scored with 12 seconds left to pull within a point. And instead of kicking the extra point, sending it into overtime, they go for two, fail, and lose. We saw it also last year against Green Bay. Same thing. Less than a minute left. They pull within a point, go for two, lose, and don't even get to overtime.
Against Kansas City, and they beat the Chiefs because of it.
Okay, but I just gave you two where they lost. And I'm going to give you another one this year against Miami. They go for four. They're up 14. They go for 4th and 1 right near midfield. They fail. Short field for the Dolphins. They come down, score. We all know the rest of that. And I think that is why Marcus Peters was so upset. Because I think he was like, we keep doing this. This is a game of inches. That's a cliche, but it's true. And these little things matter. And I think, look, last year, those two games, maybe it cost them a playoff spot. This year, it may have cost them that game yesterday.
So that's all fair. But the key part that Harbaugh talked about there is the reason forget analytics, just logic. Wildes' old point of what does your opponent hope you do the opposite. If you're rooting for the Bills, which I know you're not, do you want them to kick that field goal and give you the ball back with 4 minutes left, Josh Allen, your timeouts and an ability and kickoff? Or if you're rooting for the Bills, do you want them to go for the touchdown? You know the Bills were like, please kick the field goal, please kick the field goal. But the key to the play was Lamar's mistake. Because the whole logic tree of if we don't get it, they are backed up to the 2. The fly in the ointment there is you can't throw a pick in the end zone to where they have it on the 20. That was the disaster of it. And listen, I like Lamar. I think he deserves a ton of money. I also think that Lamar is in a very weird space in comes to media coverage, which is there is no gray on the coverage of Lamar Jackson. It's either he's the league MVP, which through 3 weeks he might have been, he deserves a fully guaranteed contract, or the people who have disliked him and said he can't win for years and they won't budge on it even though all the evidence is against it. The gray on it is this. Lamar Jackson cost them that football game with his play not just on that last drive, the entire second half. They had a 17-point lead in that football game, and Lamar in the second half had 36 yards passing. They had a 3-and-out, a 5-and-out, a pick, and then a pick in the end zone. Where if he throws the ball away, they're fine. Buffalo's backed up on their own 2-yard line, and I don't think they have the ability to drive down the field, certainly not with the ease with which they did. So I would have certainly done that if I'm John Harbaugh. I have Lamar Jackson. It's goal line. I can go up a score. But what you can't take there is a brutal sack, which Lamar also almost took, or throw a pick in the end zone. That was the deciding factor. So as much as I like Lamar's stink, I put it on him.
Okay, let's talk about all the things that are stupid. Okay, let's take all the things, write this down. All the things that are stupid. Okay, number one, analytics. That's dumb. Analytics are stupid, right? I mean, it's made by a bunch of guys that are math nerds who have never actually played before. It's the dumbest thing that it drives me nuts. So I'm going to let somebody. I'm going to let somebody. So here's one of the things. Coach told me this. The analytics department comes down and says to us, hey, listen, man, we're averaging a yard per carry more when we run to the left than we do to the right. So this week we should run to the left 72% of the time versus, here's what happened. The coach goes, hey, Aaron Donald lands up on that side. Aaron Donald lines up on that side. Get the hell out of here, right? Like, what do you know? Stop it.
But that's not the. Hold on, stink.
Thank you.
I have a several things.
I know you've got
several. I love.
But just
this
to be
is
fair,
music to my ears.
the idea that the analytics department does not incorporate The opposition, your own team, where people are, is a straw man. They don't just say run to the left because we're successful there, independent of who's on the left side or Aaron Donald.
Well, I just told you a story where they came down to a coaching staff and said, hey, we average X number of yards more per carry to the left.
Well, those people don't know what they're doing. That's
all
fine.
right. Okay, that's one stupid thing. Okay, so that's one stupid thing. To your point on Lamar, I know one guy that was given effort driving on that football. I think it was Poyer who intercepted it. Well, am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Where Duvernay was waiting for it to come back, run back down your freaking stem, go get the ball, attack the ball in the air.
Or at least dislodge it.
So,
Yep.
right. So that was one. And then the last thing that I'll tell you is stupid is, what are you known for as a football team? Are you known for your superior passing game? Or are you known because you run the heck out of the ball and you operate that way? Let's line up an empty gun.
That I totally agree with.
Let's line up an empty gun and let's have no threat. So on the goal line, one of the things you have to understand about goal line football, okay, is that on the goal line, when you line up in a run formation, you make the defense have to defend two things. And to be good on goal line, you know what you have to do? When you flag a play action out there and you show, hey, we're going to run this ball, you have to sell out. You cannot afford, because you're guessing on the goal line. Defenders guess on the goal line. And listen, when they guess wrong, those are wide open touchdowns. They're like, how do you go? Oh, well, how did that tight end get so open? Why? Because they
you
guess.
have to make a choice.
You have to make a choice, right?
That I totally agree with.
So all of a sudden, you've got Dobbins. You've got a great running game. You've got Ricard running the fullback, and you've got a quarterback that can run. And you say, hey, guess what, guys? You don't have to guess. You can play us from deep to low, right? We're not going to, hey, well, maybe our quarterback takes off, but you can still take away the pass first before you go do that. That to me is the dumbest decision. And then the best chance to win, like kick a field goal, right? You're saying, hey, man, like, I have trust in my defense, and I'm going to put it on my defense. I'm going to trust them. The best chance to win is go out there and get the lead late in the football game. That's the best chance to win.
Simple.
I love it. I don't have anything to add to that.
Well,
That's
no,
a mic drop. I mean, that was
listen.
kick the field goal.
The play call can be debated. All of that can be debated, and I think Stink makes some very fair points. But what perplexes me on people arguing they should have kicked the field goal is I have been told all year long the Bills are this amazing team in large part because of this amazing quarterback and this amazing offense. If that is the case, and your choice is, if I kick this field goal, it's going to be 4 minutes for them. We're going to kick off, so they're going to have the ball probably at the 25. And to Harbaugh's point, they're going to be in 4-down territory the entire time. I don't blame him for saying, well, considering the fact that our defense let Joe Flacco and Mac Jones throw for nearly 800 yards combined and turn Tua into an all-pro, our defense did. I think Josh Allen might be able to get 45 yards.
They have been doing a good job on Allen, though.
In that game, yes.
Let me ask you
10
this.
points in the second half.
The 4-down territory, so you're telling me that if they're in 4th and 3 from if you got it on the 25, right? So you're 4th and 3 from whatever that math is. Nobody told me there would be math, okay?
Yeah.
They didn't tell me on this show there would be math. If you're 4th and 3 from the 32, you're saying that you're punting that?
No.
I mean, if you're in 4, you're in regardless where you get that ball, regardless of what the freaking score is, you're still in 4-down territory.
You're not in 4-down territory if you go for it. His point is, if we score, they're in 4-down territory. Our worst case scenario, if you don't throw a pick in the end zone, is we go for it and fail. Now it's a tie game now.
Sure.
Now they're going to be uber conservative. They have the ball at their own 2-yard line in a tie game. They're going to be uber conservative, and we might end up getting the ball back. That was his point, that if we score, either way, if we score, they're going to be in 4-down territory. The question is, are we up 3 or 7? But if we don't score, they are going to be super conservative. They're backed up on their own 2.
I did not know there was this much thinking in football. I just kick a field goal and take a lead. I mean, maybe that's the problem. We're thinking too much. This is a game that is coached and played by phys ed majors. Let's quit the thinking and let's just start winning games. How about that?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.